Hey, trans youth. I'm really sorry I missed last week's video. I really loved the topic and I really wanted to do it, but I had no internet access. So I was at Pride Fest in Denver and there was really no internet access and things like that. So I wasn't able to get to it. I might tackle that topic on my own channel and I'll talk to Kit about uploading a video a week late, but I'll see if it works. Um, Otherwise, I guess stay tuned for that. Um, anyway, the topic today is actually one that we've already done before, but where there is plenty of things to talk about that are new and like things we can keep going. And it's another week of 2 tips for transgendered people. Um, so, being at the end of the week, like I am, Sunday, I this topic is kind of difficult for me because I have to go through Monday through Saturday to write down all of the tips they gave in order to make sure mine aren't repeated. But if I do accidentally repeat anything, then that just makes that thing all the more important, right? Because more people view it as important. So if I repeat anything, note it. And I guess that's it for like free getting into this. Um, so my first one is understand where people are coming from. Um, it's interesting because transgendered people have to add a totally new element of interaction with people to their daily lives, and that's diplomacy. We have to be very diplomatic, very charismatic, and it's an interesting and new thing to get across because we have to pay attention to more than the average person. We have to pay attention to how we talk to others. We have to pay attention to our own emotions. And we have to constantly make moralistic decisions on how we feel versus how everyone else feels. To illustrate this point, I'll bring up a argument that I had where this guy refused to use the female pronoun with me because I still had a penis. And until I got the sex reassignment surgery, I'm still a guy. So he kept using male pronouns, and I didn't like it. So I tried to be as diplomatic as possible. So I pulled him aside, and then we talked about it rationally, logically, reasonably. And I told him, I really don't like the fact that you're using male pronouns because I view myself as a woman, and the fact that I started out as a guy is not something that I'm proud of. So it's kind of throwing it in my face that I'm still a guy no matter how far I take my transition. And he said, well, I attribute the male pronoun to sex as opposed to gender. And there's really no way to fight that. So I ended up having to let it go. And what I did was I started keeping my interaction with him to a minimum. Whether or not this was the most moralistic decision is still debatable, and I'm still debating it. But as it stands right now, I'm not getting angry at him, and I'm not doing anything that might be considered negative in our relationship, save for keeping interaction to a minimum. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the diplomacy thing with the transgendered person. So it's important that you understand where people are coming from. I also want to bring up another one, segueing into my second thing, of a friend of mine who has her family going with her transition. Her family accepted the transition, but they're having a lot of trouble going the rate she wants to go, which segues into the second one, and reasonability. This is where both of them take place. The second one is go as fast as you need to go, but measure out how fast you're going. What I mean by that is when I came out, I jumped out of the gun. I am currently a month and 3 weeks into hormones, and I haven't even been out for a year. So I kind of jumped right out of there. And I'll admit I did go a bit fast, but I really had nothing holding me back. And I still feel okay. I don't regret any of it. Versus my friend who came out and has her family with her, was not excommunicated, nothing happened, and her family is still having a little bit of trouble accepting it, but they're willing to work with her on it. So she can't do the same thing that I did because her family has this thing where they think it's going too fast. And she hasn't even had her first RLE yet. So her family is slowing her transition down. But she also doesn't want to lose her family. She doesn't want to drop her family in place of her transition. So she has to go the rate that her family wants her to, except a little bit faster, hoping the family still follows. So it's a really delicate situation. So you have to understand where your family is coming from when they say you're going too fast, and you also have to go the speed that you need or want to go. Because the transition takes a while. It's a lot of major life changes, a lot of huge decisions, and you have to make them very carefully. So that's incredibly important. So there's my 2 tips. One is be reasonable, understand where people are coming from, the diplomacy factor. And the second one is go as fast as you need to go, but be careful in how you step. It was actually a really great tip given on Wednesday. Come up with a 5-year plan. I call this a trans roadmap because it's basically first I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'll wait a while and decide if I'm going to do this. I did this myself. I did a roadmap of 3 months to just kind of decide whether I wanted to do this. Then 3 months of research, still deciding. And after the research, I did my 3 months of therapy. And after that, I decided this is what I want to do. So I got my hormones. And I had this set up, 3 months of this, 3 months of this, 3 months of this, get the hormones. Then, now on my transition, all I'm doing is spacing it out a bit. 6 months, get my name changed, because 6 months on hormones should be enough to tell me whether or not my body thinks this is something that I should do. And then after the name change, all there really is to do is wait for the HRT, and I just continue on with my life. And then once 2 years on HRT comes up, about 6 months beforehand, I'll spend 6 months thinking about whether I want to do top or bottom surgery. And I haven't even decided on the SRS. That's way out there. So I'm not even thinking about that yet. I'm living as a woman, living as I wish, and I'm not making any rash decisions. I'm also remaining as diplomatic as I possibly can with people interacting with me, and in making sure people are with me in the transition. I'm making sure those that are supporting me aren't alienated, which is an incredibly important portion of transition. So yeah, just think about where people are coming from and take as much time as you need, plan everything out. It's very, very crucial that you do this. You don't want to misstep and end up being one of those people who are severely depressed because they went too far and made the wrong decision too soon. Otherwise, that's it for my video, and this is Trans Youth Channel. If you have any other questions, send them to transyouthchannel@gmail.com. That's incredibly important. Do it. We need those. And we're coming up on 1,000 subscribers, so tell us what you want to do in the comment section. All of that fun stuff, okay? So we're going to think of something to do, and until then, I will see you next week. There's a new video every week on Trans Youth. Bye.